Hello and welcome to Y.I.T Yoga, day number 3. I hope that you have had the chance to use some of the breathing techniques and sitting techniques that we've gone over. I hope that you've got to use rooting as well, and I hope that they have been beneficial to you as they have been beneficial to me. Today we will cover rooting while standing and while sitting. We will also cover kneeling today and rooting through the hands. So it will be very important to just kind of focus on the rooting today and make sure that you yourself as a student feel as little pain as possible. If you at any point in any of these videos begin to feel some sort of pain, I want you to stop, find a comfortable position to sit or stand in or lie down even, and just rest there until you're ready to start again. You can always pause the video and come back to it when you're feeling better or less fatigued. So today I would like to focus on rooting in the feet to start with. So we will go over a little bit of the anatomy of the foot and just kind of explain why it's important to root through the foot. And I put so much emphasis into it because it has such a great benefit over continued use of rooting. So it's going to be beneficial to not only your legs and feet, but also your hands, your forearms, and up into your upper arm. So for most people, I'm sure that standing is fairly easy, but most people actually don't know how to stand properly. That's where bad posture comes in, aches and pains in the lower and upper back. Your posture has everything to do with how your back is and the health of your core and the muscles in your entire body. So we will start by sitting in the chair so that I can kind of elaborate to people who don't have accessibility to standing yet, i.e. people with some sort of leg muscle deficiency, or they've either broken tendons or ligaments and they're healing from that and trying to progress through that. So sit down in the chair and we will cover rooting through the chair. First we would like to go over the anatomy of the foot. So we will find the 4 corners, as they are known as in yoga, of the foot. This is where you're going to reach out with rooting. I'm going to give you another tool today that kind of helps essentially physicalize what you're doing with rooting. Not just rooting in itself, you're actually going to be able to somewhat feel the tip that I'm going to give you, and you'll start to feel a little stronger and see more benefit from rooting over the next couple of days. So first, to start with rooting through the feet, we are going to locate the 4 corners in the feet. So I will show you as best I can from here. We're going to locate the big toe mound, which is obviously just below the big toe, which is also known as the knuckle. So this would be the big toe mound. This would be one of the corners. Moving to the right side of the foot, we're going to find the little toe mound. So this would be the second corner. Moving down towards the back right side of the ankle, this would be the 3rd corner of the foot. And then finally back to the left side, this will be the 4th corner of the foot. So from here, we're going to use those corners on both feet. If initially having your feet together and the knuckles of the big toes touching is not comfortable for you, you can use a little bit less than shoulder width spread to the feet. This will hopefully alleviate any discomfort or pain if you do feel any while trying to root through the four corners of the feet. So again, pushing out with each corner of the foot, we're going to now imagine either a web or root system like a tree would have, and reach out into the room and feel like we are becoming more stable. This isn't as easily felt sitting as it is standing, but I can assure you you'll start to notice it once we get to the kneeling section of today. With using these techniques, we will start to notice strengthening of the ligaments, the tendons, the muscles, the veins of the legs, the arms, and the feet. It's very important to engage in rooting and stick with it as long as you can, because the longevity benefits will far outweigh not rooting in the long run. With this rooting, we will begin to strengthen the legs, the arms, and the hands and the feet with the tendons, the bones, the ligaments, the muscles, and even the veins will begin to strengthen, bringing more blood flow to the areas that are needed in the body. So it's very crucial to focus on rooting. I mean, don't put all of your effort into it, but subconsciously, like I said in the last video, it will start to come naturally over the course of practicing yoga. First, we need to understand the structure of the hand and the weaknesses in the hand. Keep this in mind throughout the entire practice, because you never want to put too much weight on or close to the wrists. This can result in really bad things happening. You can break bones, you can tear ligaments and tendons. It's really not good. So I really recommend to either not use the hands, or if you can't spread the hands wide enough to make it comfortable, or use the index finger and thumb to put most of the weight on, I recommend using fists and just planting into the ground with your fists. When you do use fists, I recommend the two knuckles on the index finger and middle finger, because this is where the most strength comes from when placing the hands into the ground. Now, to better instruct you on how to root through the hands, I'm going to move back to the floor and demonstrate rooting through the hands, and also dispersing the weight through the rest of the hand so that we lessen fatigue and lessen the chance for any kind of pain or tearing or breaking anything in the hands. So moving back to the floor, because we are going to kneel today, I will do this in a kneeling posture, just so you can kind of get the gist of where I'm going. So now that I've moved back down to the floor, I can cover the dispersion of weight through the hands a little easier. So again, getting into the index finger and thumb mounds, we're going to root the hands down into the floor. And what we want to do is we're going to lift the other fingers off the ground as best as we can, and really root into the other knuckles or mounds, whatever you want to call them, to help disperse the weight into the knuckles. We don't want to have too much weight into the wrist section of the hand, because this is again where most of the damage comes from, is wrong posture in hand rooting. And believe me, in yoga, there is a lot of hand rooting because a lot of the postures and poses you do go through hand planting and rooting. So rooting in through the index finger and thumb, I'm going to point the index fingers towards the front of my mat or the room, whatever you want to go as a reference point. Then we're going to take the middle finger, the ring finger, and the pinky finger and spread them out as far as we can. And then the thumbs are just going to point towards each other as best as we can. Obviously, some people aren't going to be able to do this, so again, going to a fist is going to be more beneficial and less painful for the person. Again, you really want to focus on the middle finger knuckle and the index finger knuckle to reduce any form of pain or injury. So again, using the hands or using fists, it's very crucial to make sure that you don't feel any pain. If you do feel pain, once again, come out, do something that makes it feel better. Sometimes even just shaking the wrists and the hands brings more blood flow and alleviates some of the pain that you might start to feel, either using fists or rooting through the hands. And then again, to make a proper fist, this is crucial, you want to reach the fingers out as tall as you can and then start to curl from each end of each finger into itself. So like you're trying to curl your fingers up as tight as possible, and then you curl your hands into a fist. Again, here is very crucial. You really want the thumbs to be underneath. You don't want them to be on top or inside, because if you're going to throw a punch, you're going to break your thumb, and you don't want that to happen. So again, keeping the thumbs somewhere like underneath the knuckles of the middle of the fingers, okay? You can even put them out to the sides if you want to when you're doing fist postures. This can give you a little bit of a rooting in through the thumbs, but it's really not as crucial. The most crucial part is keeping that tight fist and keeping the index finger and middle knuckle planted and rooting into the ground. Again, from here, imagining that web or rooting system or root system spreading out and feeling the stability come from there. These two styles of rooting through the hands are crucial for the next part, which is kneeling. I'm also going to go over alleviating pain that you feel in through the hands or the knees if kneeling on a pad or a mat or a blanket isn't comfortable. I'm going to give you tools that you can use to alleviate that pain. So to start, to help alleviate some of the pain in the hands and in the knees, if you're feeling it in the knees, it's really simple. All you need to do is roll up your mat like so and place the knees on top. You can have the hands off of the mat initially. Just make sure you're rooting. If that's not comfortable, you can use yoga blocks, and you can use those to plant the index finger and thumb into the yoga block and spreading the fingers out. If the fingers go off of the yoga block, it's not very important. It's more important that you have your index finger and thumb mound really planted into the yoga block. And I really hope that you should feel some sort of alleviation to the pain, because the yoga block is very great at alleviating any form of stress that the body is feeling from either the ground or even a chair. Again, if you don't have yoga blocks, you can use the mat. You can roll up the mat at the other end as well. And this should help to alleviate some of the pain. Not far enough. Alleviate some of the pain in the knees and in the hands. And again, rooting through the hands is very important here. It's not as easy to root, but you again want to make sure that your index finger and thumb are really absorbing most of the weight from your body, from your upper body. With the knees, again, you can plant the toes down. I can turn sideways to show. So you can plant the toes down to the floor, so the toes are kind of facing towards the knee. Or if that's not comfortable, you can plant the tops of the feet onto the floor, and then again rooting. You're trying to keep the back as straight as possible, but it's not as crucial as getting the hand placement and rooting through the hands. We'll go over a straighter back in the next video, and I can give you cues and tools to use to continually get a stronger and straighter back. And I think that's all we have for today. Thank you for joining us at Y.I.T Yoga. Have a great day.